All right, welcome guys to the live stream. We only now have 3 games to talk about, with the Philly Oklahoma City game getting postponed. I could have moved the live stream back, but I figured we'll just keep going with it at this time. So the lock now is at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. But this will be a quick one since we only have 3 games to talk about, and I know a lot of people want to watch NFL as well. So about 20-minute live stream here. I'm not going to keep you guys for too long, but I do appreciate you guys coming to check it out. Let's review what we know so far. So some of this stuff is for the early games. Let's see. A lot of the stuff was for the early slate, which that 2-game early slate, if you guys played it, that could have been the worst NBA slate of all time. I'm not even kidding. That could have been the worst NBA slate of all time. So big news here. Miles Turner ruled out. So there's definitely now, like my YouTube video is like, I don't love the Pacers value. Now you're going to want the Pacers value. With no Miles Turner, that's about 40 minutes to go around. So interested to see what they do the starting lineup. 2 of their other backup bigs are questionable. So they could be really, really thin here, the Pacers. So definitely where you want to go for value on the slate. Let's see. All this stuff is from Monday. I don't know if there's anything else really major that we missed news-wise. Besides, obviously Sixers Thunder getting postponed. Let's refresh this. I think we're up to date. We're up to date. All right, so only 3 games now. Jazz Nuggets is a 219.5 over under. Jazz are 1.5 point favorites. We have Pelicans, we have Kings, a 226 over under. The Pelicans are 3-point favorites, and the Pacers and the Clippers a 219.5 over under. Clippers are now 8.5 point favorites. So a little bit of blowout rest in that one. Let's get into it, guys. We're almost at 200 viewers. Let's try to aim for 70 likes in this one. That would be great. Again, I know it's going to be a short stream, but I do appreciate you guys coming to check it out. Let's start on the Utah side. So Utah is a team that, this is a decent matchup against Denver. Donovan Mitchell at 8.5. A lot of these guys are going to be saying the same thing. I think they're all pretty solid plays, these Jazz, the main guys. 8.5, though, is not an amazing discount on Donovan Mitchell, so I think he's definitely in play. He does have upside. We saw this game in the bubble went crazy, right? That series with Donovan Mitchell versus Jamal Murray. So maybe they have a big game just because of that. But Mitchell is a guy that is in play for GPPs. 8.5, I don't know if I go there in cash games. Rudy Gobert, I just don't really love targeting centers against Nikola Jokic. And plus the fact that Rudy Gobert is not a great offensive center, right? He's more of a shot blocker, more out there for his defense. He'll play the minutes, but I think the way he has the huge upside is one of those games where he has 5 or 6 blocks, and I don't want to guess for that on this slate. So don't love Gobert. I think Mike Conley at 7-1 looks like a decent price. He's actually had a pretty good season so far. Floor is somewhat low with him, but he's had 50 plus fantasy point games a couple times, a couple 40 fantasy point games in there in blowouts. He's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet too with the assists, the rebounding the ball. So I think Mike Conley would probably be my favorite play on the Jazz. I don't love the price at 7-1, but just for the fact that he has a somewhat high floor with his assists, rebound the ball, can score the ball, I think Conley is probably my preferred target. I do have interest in Jordan Clarkson off the bench. There's still no Joe Ingles. The issue with Clarkson is, does have a somewhat low floor if he's not hitting his shots, but he's been shooting the ball a ton. 20, 15, 14, 17. And he's actually been doing a decent job rebounding the ball. So, Clarkson's been doing a better job filling up the stat sheet. 6'3", though, it's not a really cheap price. So, Clarkson definitely in play for GPPs on the bench. I don't really play Bojan, too reliant on the scoring. Royce O'Neal's a little bit too expensive. Could you make the argument for favors for value? You could. He'll probably play 15-ish minutes. But I don't know if we have to go there now with the Pacers value. So, that's it for the Jazz. Let's move on to the Nuggets. Jokic in play for GPPs, obviously. I think the ownership will be somewhat low on him, but upside is just enormous with him every single game. So really like Jokic here in GPPs. I don't think he's an optimal play today against the Jazz, but still love his upside. Jamal Murray is always in play for GPPs, right? The floor is really low. The ceiling is 40 plus. He's fine for GPPs. I wouldn't touch him in cash games, but he can get hot. Will Barton with no Michael Porter Jr. is still viable against 6K. Not an amazing price, but probably gets over 30 minutes in a competitive game. So I think he's a decent play in the mid-range. Millsap, it just not playing a ton of minutes. I know he's been somewhat okay, but I probably prefer the Pacers value. Same with Gary Harris here. He's been shooting the ball well. I don't expect this to continue. 6 of 9, 7 of 11, 6 of 10. We know the floor with Gary Harris is single-digit fantasy points if he's not shooting the ball well. So, yeah, you can go to Gary Harris, but you got to know what you're getting into with him. If he's not hitting his threes, the floor is really low. I think JaMychal Green's like an okay value play at 4-4. Probably plays somewhere around 20 to 25 minutes. He played 28 the last game. I think it's more the high end, but he's actually been pretty decent in the minutes he's played. So I think he's like an okay value play. Yeah, guys like Monte Morris, Dozier, again, yes, they're in play, but I have a hard time prioritizing these guys over the Pacers value just because the Pacers are so thin now. So that's what I got for Denver. Let's move on to the Pelicans and the Kings. So this is probably my favorite game to stack if I was going to stack one. Ingram and Zion at the top. You guys know I love targeting players against Sacramento. They play no defense. They play fast. So I do really like Ingram. I do really like Zion here in a good spot. I know they're priced up, but I think the upside is pretty high in these guys. So really do like both. Again, still no Lonzo Ball. We'll see what they do with the starting lineup, whether they start NAW or Bledsoe. NAW, the foul trouble last game was so tilting. He had like 5 fouls in like 10 minutes. So that really sucked. I mean, we know the upside, right, when he gets minutes. He's a good offensive player. If he starts at point guard again, probably would prefer him to Bledsoe. Now, if they start Bledsoe at point guard, might prefer him. I know, Bledsoe's been a little up and down, but the ceiling is there for him. There's no Lonzo Ball, so we'll see what they do with the starting lineup, but I would prefer probably whoever starts at point guard there. Josh Hart will get decent minutes at 5'1". Fine play in the mid-range. JJ Redick is always viable for GPP. Same thing with Gary Harris, right? Know what you're getting into. Floor is really low if he's not hitting his threes. And then, the value guys, I just don't think we have to go there for the Pelicans. Let's move on to the Kings. Kings, De'Aaron Fox is viable in GPPs. If I'm going to stack this game, I think Fox is the guy I bring it back with. He's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. He had an off game last game just because of the blowout. Not super worried about it. So, I have interest in Fox for GPPs. Healed a little too score independent for me. Holmes is always fine for GPPs as well, but foul trouble concerns do worry me there. Barnes is like an okay play in the mid-range at 6'6". We'll play the minutes. We got to keep an eye also on Marvin Bagley's status. He's questionable. If Marvin Bagley misses, I'm curious to see what they do with the starting lineup. Do they move Halliburton in the starting lineup and go a little bit small ball, or do they move like Glenn Robinson or maybe Bielitsa in the starting lineup? We'll see. So that's something to keep an eye on. Potential value there if Bagley misses. If Bagley himself plays, I think he's like a decent play at 5'4". I think like a safe play. Probably is not going to kill you, but probably get somewhere around 25-ish minutes, maybe a little more. So, I think he would be a decent play if he does end up playing. Whiteside, not going to play a ton of minutes even if he plays. Like Metu was the backup center when Whiteside missed. Got extended a bit because of the blowout, but probably won't play a ton in a close game. I mean, you could always take a shot there and hope like Holmes gets some foul trouble or something. But, Bielitsa, Robinson, these are two guys that we could target if Bagley's out. Probably would prefer whoever starts. I mean, I guess they could always throw Jabari Parker in the rotation too. Like, if for some reason maybe he starts, he would be actually like the best value play because he's like a really good offensive player. So we'll just have to keep an eye on what happens with Marvin Bagley because that's obviously some potential value there. Let's refresh this one more time here. All right, finished up last game here. Pacers and Clippers. So this is the game where I know the Pacers are underdogs here, and there's a potential for a blowout with obviously no Oladipo, no Turner, and no T.J. Warren. But hard for me to get away from the top two guys here with with Sabonis and Brogdon. Sabonis, no Miles Turner now, gets even a bigger boost. He's already been so consistent. So sure, the matchup's not the best, but love Sabonis here at 9-8. Love Brogdon too. It's just the offense is going to be these two guys. They're going to play huge minutes. So really like Brogdon, really like Sabonis. So the Pacers are going to keep this game close. It's got to be because of those two. Now, there is some risk, right? 8.5 point spread. There's a chance this game does not stay competitive. So if the game blows out, Sabonis and Brogdon probably won't get you there. So, I mean, you could avoid this game and maybe hope for the blowout and maybe just go the value. That's a viable strategy. But now we have Justin Holiday, McDermott, Aaron Holiday, TJ McConnell, Sumner, and then possibly like Goga or JAKARR Sampson. These guys are all in play. Like, I'm curious to see what they do with the starting lineup. Goga hasn't played all season, but if he's available, they could start him at center. They could start JAKARR Sampson at the 4, so we'll just see, right? Like, if JAKARR Sampson starts, I would like him for value at min price. Edmund Sumner's been starting. Like, he's a guy that we can look to for value. TJ McConnell's a really good point per minute guy. I think the minutes probably have to be close to 20 for him, so I have interest in him. Aaron Holiday versus Justin Holiday. Justin Holiday probably has a little bit of a higher floor. Aaron Holiday, when he gets it going, we've seen the ceiling is like 40 plus, but he has a really low floor. So both the Holiday brothers are in play. Justin probably a little safer than Aaron Holiday. And then Doug McDermott. I mean, he could start. I think we probably get at least 25 minutes from him, maybe more. He's got a good amount upside when he's hitting a shot. So, like, all these Pacers value guys are in play. I definitely think you're going to want at least one or two of these guys. Like, this is where I want to go for value, is these Pacers guys, depending on starting lineup news, but you're going to want at least one or two of these guys for sure in your lineup. Then finally, the Clippers. Kawhi, Paul George are decent spend-ups. A little bit more contrarian for me. I would probably prefer the Pacers guys, but these guys still have upside. They still play big minutes. So Paul George, Kawhi Leonard firmly in play at the top. Ibaka a little too pricey for me. I'm not going to play Batum. Pat Beverly seems priced about right. Lou Williams, if he misses, we could look to guy like Kennard maybe. He might play a few extra minutes. You could look at him in GPPs. Marcus Morris, I guess, is like an okay value play. Plays probably 20 to 25 minutes. Zubac at 3.9 if you think the game blows out, like, which is definitely a possibility. You can take two approaches to the slate. You think this game stays close or blows out. If you think the game blows out, maybe what you do is, like, you play Zubac and then a couple of those Pacers value guys, right? I think that would be a viable build. And then you kind of just go stars and scrubs, and then maybe you just go, the stars and the Pelicans, Kings game. I don't know. I can't think of that. But yeah, that's a viable build. Guys like Mann, Reggie Jackson, with Pat Beverly back, I just don't think these guys play enough for me to get to them. Would rather have the Pacers value. So that's it, guys. I think it's a pretty simple slate. You use the Pacers value and you spend up in the other games. Pretty simple. Let's refresh one more time. I'll stay on for questions for about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, again, no, it's a small slate, small stream, but there's just not a ton to talk about. So let's get some questions here. We are at 340 viewers. Wow. Thank you, guys. Sunday with NFL football, that is crazy. 61 likes, I appreciate it. Jabari Parker, I mean, not a good defender, but I mean, we'll see what they do, right? Like, there's a chance Jabari or like Bielitsa start if Marvin Bagley's out. I'm playing McDermott, guys, so make sure to avoid him because every time I play this guy, he never wants to score. I mean, you got to know what you're getting into. Like, the minutes will be there for McDermott. It's just a matter of does he hit his shots. But the Pacers are really thin, really, really thin. Anything is possible. Hey, I'm a Chad Henne fan. He went to Michigan. So Chad Henne was a really good quarterback in Michigan. Chad Henne, Mike Hart, that combo. CJ out tomorrow. Last time I played Doug, he had 3 fouls in the last 3 minutes. Yeah. I mean, he has a somewhat low floor. But, I mean, someone's got to score the ball, right? Someone's got to score the ball besides Brogdon and Sabonis. Justin Holiday or JaMychal Green, I think I got to prefer Justin Holiday there. Just because there's just going to be more minutes. Yeah, I think you want to go Pacers value. Pacers are where you want to get the value and then spend up in the other games. Depends, the Pacers game does have a little bit of blowout risk, so you can approach the slate in two ways. You can, look to Sabonis or Brogdon or both to pair them with the value and then kind of fill out the rest of your lineup. Or you think the game blows out, so you just maybe play a couple of the, maybe you play two or three of the Pacers value plays, and then you look to the stars in the other games, right? NAW, good play. I think NAW is a pretty solid play. Yeah, if he starts, I would like him a lot more. So whoever starts the point guard, I would prefer for the Pelicans. Should I gamble on JAKARR Sampson? If he starts, I think he's a viable play. We'll see. He's questionable. Him and Goga are both questionable. Like, if they're both out, they might only have, like, how many bodies would they have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If Goga and JAKARR Sampson are out, 8, they would have like 8 or 9 healthy bodies. So yeah, you're a great man. Hey, thank you. NAW, Aaron Holiday, Glenn Robinson, Zion, Jokic. Yeah, I think that's a fine build for sure. How's your day? Day's going decent so far. NFL, man, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to hold on in tournaments, but I had the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill stack, ran it back with Jarvis Landry. Was looking great at halftime, and then obviously Mahomes gets hurt. Hope he's okay, but God, just tilted for myself, right? Was on pace for a really nice day in NFL. We'll see if it holds on. If this late game has a lot of scoring, I probably won't hold on in GPPs. Niang at play, I wouldn't do it. Just wouldn't do him over the Pacers value. Hey, DK, can I play Prize Picks here in California? I'm not sure. I know there's some states you can't, so I'm not exactly sure. Thoughts on Brogdon, NAW, Ingram, Zion, Sabonis, Sumner, Sampson, Bielitsa, assuming Bagley's out? Yeah. So I think I only play Bielitsa if he starts. Like, if he doesn't start, Bielitsa hasn't been in the rotation. So, like, if he doesn't start, there's a chance he still gets a DNP. What do you use to see starting lineup? I use Fantasy Labs on Twitter. So, yeah, what I do is basically just keep this up and refresh. Best low value play? I think the Pacers value. I don't have a super strong take on the Pacers value. I need to see a starting lineup, right? And we have JAKARR, SAMPSON, and Goga questionable. So it's hard for me to say right now what Pacers value play the best, right? Because I don't know who's in. I don't know who's starting. So it's that's a late game too. I don't have an answer for you guys right now. JAKARR Sampson's viable if he starts for sure. Rudy Gobert, that's my thing with Rudy Gobert, right? What is his ceiling? He needs a game with six or seven blocks to really have that ceiling, in my opinion. So, and I don't love targeting centers against Jokic to begin with. Yeah, so I would still like NIW if he starts. If he starts, I would like him. Gary Harris and Aaron Holiday, so I would go Aaron Holiday there. The Pacers are so thin. Thoughts on Will Barton? I think Will Barton's an okay play in the mid-range. Not a priority for me, but probably gets over 30 minutes in a competitive game. So I think he's pretty decent. Favorite Clippers play if Pacers run a small lineup? I mean, I don't really love the price on Pat Bev. I don't really like the price on Batum. Ibaka seems priced about right. So I would say Kawhi, Paul George. If Lou Williams is out, then Kennard would be a little bit more viable. He should get more minutes. Marcus Morris, I think, is an okay value play too, but no one really stands out for me in the Clippers at the moment. Anyone playing Jokic? Yeah, I think Jokic is a good GBP play. Gobert or Conley in the showdown. So for me, I think I'd rather have Conley. Steven Adams, I think Steven Adams is a safe play. He should play about 30 minutes, so yeah. Which game stack is more appealing? I think the most appealing game stack in tournaments is probably Pelicans Kings. So Ingram, Zion, run it back with Fox, and then value from there. How many Pacers are you looking to play? I think you can play a good amount of Pacers, really. If you think the game stays close, I think you want one or even both of Sabonis and Brogdon, and then probably at least two value plays. If you think this game blows out, which is definitely a possibility, then maybe avoid Sabonis and Brogdon. You could still probably play one if you want to, but then I would get at least two or three value plays if you think the game blows out, because they're just going to obviously get extra run in the blowout. So I definitely think you want either way. I would say get at least three Pacers in your lineup, no matter what approach you're taking. If you think the game stays close, I would get to one of Sabonis or Brogdon. You could play both, and then probably a couple value plays. If you think the game blows out, you could still get to one of those guys at the top if you want, but really, I would try to get at least probably two or three value plays in there. Yeah, it's hard for me to rank the Pacers right now, right? Because I just don't know what the starting lineup is. So TJ McConnell's the best point per minute guy, but I don't know how many minutes he gets. If he gets 20, I think that's solid. Again, Aaron Holiday, very up and down, but the upside is probably higher in him than Justin Holiday. Justin Holiday is safer. If you're going for safety, it's probably Justin Holiday. McDermott, also a little up and down like Aaron Holiday, but if he's hitting his shots, he has the upside. So it just depends what you're playing, right? And then Sumner probably gets decent minutes. I think he's an okay punt. And then Goga and JAKARR Sampson are both questionable. So it's hard for me to say right now, right? I'm new to this, so why is starting at point guard so important? Because point guards have a higher floor. So, with assist plus minutes, right? If you're starting a point guard, you should play more minutes. Plus point guards just have a higher floor. Nah, I wouldn't play Reggie. Aaron Holiday, yep. All right, a couple more questions, guys. Prize Picks is in. Okay, cool. Yeah, I got to stay on what is actually 5:30. I'll stay on for another minute or two here, guys. Reggie Jackson or Sumner? I'd rather have Sumner. Best center for cash? I think Zion Williamson. Fox or Conley? I like the upside a little bit higher on Fox. You like Fox or Brogdon more in GPPs? Tough question. I think Brogdon, with everyone basically out for the Pacers, I think even in a tougher matchup, I prefer Brogdon there. Kings, Clips, Nuggets, what do you think? Oh, for winning games? Or what do you mean? Sabonis, Brogdon, and Paul George or Ingram, Zion, and Fox? It depends. I don't know how you're attacking the slate. If you think the Pacers game stays close, then first one looks good. If you think the game blows out, you obviously want to go to the second one. Right? I really like the studs in the Pelicans game. Do you think the Pacers game blows out? I don't know. 8.5 point spread. I mean, better than 50% chance it stays close, but you never know. Bledsoe or NAW, whoever starts. Prefer whoever starts. You can leave some, you can leave some money on the table. 1,300 is a lot. You can do that in like larger field tournaments. In like higher dollar stuff, I don't think I leave 1,300 on the table. Fox or Murray? Fox for me. Value forward, Pacers. Are you fading the first game? Basically. Zubac or Redick? They're both GPP plays. I think Zubac might have a little bit of a higher floor. Redick, I don't know. Depends if he hits a shot. So you can play Redick and GPPs. Floor is really low. Best value plays, Pacers. Halliburton or Fox? Fox. Yeah, I think Zubac's okay. And if the game blows out, Zubac will play a little bit more. So, yeah. Yeah, Patreon live stream starting like right now. So I'm taking like one or two more questions, and I'm going right to that. I know I stayed on a couple extra minutes, but the slate got moved back like another hour. How about playing NAW and Bledsoe together? You could do it. There's some negative correlation. I don't think they play a ton together, but you could do it. That's one way to differentiate yourself in like large field tournaments. All right, one more question, guys. Then I got to go live stream for Patreon. Is Sampson a great play if he plays? Depends on the starting line moves. If Sampson starts, I like him because I think he probably plays at least 20 minutes. Thanks, DK. Of course. All right, guys. I got to go stream for Patreon. So good luck tonight. I appreciate all you guys coming to check out the live stream. Really, we hit almost 400 viewers on Sunday with NFL going on. So thank you. Heald or Clarkson? I prefer Clarkson. Good luck tonight, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow.